Hello and welcome back to Kootenai and Beyond. My name is Brandon and this is episode 3 of Veemo SE. In today's video, I'm going to go over some upgrades both from Envo and myself, as well as some updates after 3 months of ownership, and let's get right into it. For the first update, I'm going to discuss the new front suspension parts sent compliments of Envo to all of us early adopters. And here it is, right here, installed. And right next to it, I've brought over the old unit. So the new ones are a bit longer, they're a bit sturdier, they're a bit more durable, and like the ride quality has significantly improved. It's just awesome. It's made the frame more rigid. It takes corners better. It handles the bumps better. There's even higher ground clearance now. It's fantastic. So the parts are sourced and sent by Envo for free to all of us. However, if you don't have the technical expertise to install it yourself, you are going to have to, or we did have to hire our local bike shop to do it for us.
All right, we're cruising up Columbia. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, we're all good. All right. Man, this new suspension is just amazing. There's hardly any rattles at all. About 18 kilometers an hour on the flat ground here. No big deal. Stop sign. We're all clear. All right. Check the tracks. Yeah.
So that is the first of a number of updates here. The second being new brake components. The original ones that were sent and installed only had about 60% contact on the rotors. So they sent us these new parts, had them replaced, and now they work significantly better. So those are the upgrades that I have had installed on my Veemo so far. However, there is a whole list of future upgrades that Envo is expecting to arrive sometime in mid to late January. So let's go over a few of those. First one being the shock absorbers on all parts of the Veemo, the frame, the plastic cover, front and rear we're planning to upgrade all of those. So I know a few of you have been kind of wondering if this unit is suitable to ride on gravel paths like, say, a rail trail. And I've mentioned in the past the unit's a bit rattly, and I don't think it would be suitable even with, you know, the proper kind of off-road tires. So this new upgrade that Envo is expecting, I'm hoping it will resolve that and make this more of just a pavement unit. So as soon as I have those implemented, around mid-February, I think, I will create another video and let you know how it goes. So the next of Envo's planned upgrades is right in here, the front axle. So when this unit was originally designed, it was believed, because it has independent front suspension, that the unit would be able to handle the rider's weight when combined with leans and turns, going around corners and things like that. Unfortunately, that hasn't really worked out the way they expected. So the bearings and the housing that they designed, there are actually forces on multiple axes with this unit, and this system can't handle it, especially if you're a heavier rider, say 180 plus pounds. The unit just can't handle the weight. There's premature wear on the bearings and the housing are actually failing on some units. Now, fortunately, that hasn't happened to me. Well, not yet anyway. I'm only about 155 pounds, so that could have something to do with it. But it has been an issue with some of the other early adopters. Fortunately, Envo has redesigned the unit, and it's being manufactured as we speak, and will be sent to Envo sometime around mid-January, just like the shock absorbers, and they will. I'll have that installed as well. So next update. These are the front headlights. There's one there and one here. The housing, not so good. So Envo is redesigning that, and I will have that installed, and hopefully they'll be much more solid and they won't rattle around anymore. Moving down here to the front chain ring, there's a little bit of an issue with the chain coming off of the chain ring and off of the rear or forward jockey wheel. So they are going to design a guard to hold the chain much more in place and hopefully prevent that issue. Next update regards the battery and the power inverter, which is inside this housing. I'm not going to take it all apart because it's kind of a pain, but basically what is happening is I think I've talked about this in a previous video, but the inverter is it's doing something with a battery that is telling the battery to remain in its heating up stage, I believe it is. So even when unit is off, everything is off, the lights are off. There's still a drain on the battery. Some of you may know this as phantom load, and yeah, that's exactly, it's this exact principle of it. So Envo has acquired upgraded inverter units, which will be a part of the all the upgrades that they're planning, and that should fix the battery draining issue. Next update from Envo, the seat unit. Those of you who watched the first episode might remember that I wasn't too impressed with it. There is some kind of a hack going on here, just kind of shoddy quality. It's loose. The comfort isn't that bad, but it could be better. Fortunately, Envo has sourced a whole new backrest and I believe seat as well, and those will be installed soon as well. So the final update from Envo is regarding the windshield wiper situation. So they advertised this unit as being suitable for people up to 6'3", I believe. But for whatever reason, no one thought that the height of the wiper on the windshield was important. So here's the connection place, and it was connected way down here. So the top of the wiper was quite a bit lower. And I mean, I'm 6'2", and my sight line was like up here while the top of the wiper was like down here. It was ridiculous. It wasn't helping at all. So I had to kind of put together this hack of a job here to extend the wiper connection so that the top is up higher. But apparently they have sourced a new connector that is just one solid metal piece instead of this like ridiculous like thing that I put here. So that will also be installed, and I'm really looking forward to that because I mean that was just bad design on Envo's part. So that's all of the upgrades that Envo has planned for us early adopters, which is great. Really looking forward to getting those installed. But while we're on that topic, I wanted to mention a few things. So I've been hesitant up until about now to really say, really recommend whether or not others should get this unit. I mean, obviously it's a really, really cool concept. It's novel, it's unique, and for the most part it works, especially the weather protection system. But yeah, there were a lot of growing pains. However, with these upgrades that are planned, I will, confidently say, if you are willing to wait until about, early to mid-March, when all of the new units will have these upgrades installed for you already, I would get this bike. I would absolutely get this bike. For those of you who are super keen and you'd rather not wait until March 2025, you can get a unit now. However, if you don't have the technical expertise to install the upgrades yourself and you have to hire your local bike shop, it's going to cost a lot of money just in labor. Even though you're supplying the parts, the labor alone is going to cost a fortune. So I really recommend waiting until March, and all of those upgrades will already be done. So the first of these upgrades are these fantastic studded winter tires manufactured by Schwably, both front and over in the rear. These things fit actually really well on the rims. As I mentioned in the previous video, the width sizes are not exactly the same as the Summers, but these rims have a range tolerance, and they fit really well. So what about installing them? Well, these front wheels are externally mounted, which is kind of unique. I've never worked on those before, but it was actually super easy. You had to fiddle a little bit with the mud guards in place, but the tires are so small, they're just really easy to handle and manage. It was no big deal at all. I've been so impressed with the ride quality and the grip on these things. They're fantastic. I've ridden maybe about 30 kilometers on these things so far. Haven't lost any studs. Haven't had any punctures or any issues at all. It's just great. So that's the front. What about the rears? Okay. So again, the same thing with the tire. The tire is really easy to manage. It was no big deal taking the summer off and putting the winter on. That was the easy part. The tough part was getting this unit, this dropout axle back onto the bike. So in all standard rear hub motor e-bikes, they have this axle here. You have a bolt, one on this side, one on the other side, and you just take the bolts off and make sure the chain is on the highest gear, the smallest one here, and just loosen the bolts and the thing just kind of drops right out. You will have to suspend the rear of the bike to make that possible. But that part is not the difficult. The tough part is getting this thing back on. So all rear hub e-bikes have this kind of axle here. Most of them have like a bolt, one on this side, one on the other, or something similar to that. And it's a pretty standard procedure to get the wheel off, loosen the bolts, detach the power coupling, and suspend the bike, and the wheel just kind of drops right out. Unfortunately, with this particular unit, you can't turn it upside down to get the rear wheel back on. And that's the really, really tough part about this setup. So you have to suspend the bike way up in the air, or the rear of the bike, And then you have to get this unit back in between the frame mounts. You have to get it, if I can show you, chain goes over top. You have to get it fiddle around with the derailleur system. And as you can see on this particular unit, the derailleur is really, really close to the cassette. Like, that's not standard on most bikes. It makes it even tougher to get this wheel back on. And then, of course, like all bikes, you have to get the you have to line up the rotor with the brake pad and the housing, and you got the mudguard. So it was a pain. Of course, you could just get your bike shop to do it for you. If you don't have like patience or the time, it'd probably be a good idea. But if you want to do it yourself, just be prepared. It's a pain. Further to that, it did kind of bring to light, like, what the heck do you do if you get a puncture and a flat? I haven't looked into it yet, but I'm considering converting this rim and tire to maybe a tubeless setup. Just because it would give me a little extra confidence, especially if I'm in a more isolated area or, you know, on a busy street or something like that. I'm going to look into that, and I'll get back to you in the next video. So, next update. You're all probably wondering what the heck this is. It's a connector that I've designed, made out of just your basic 2x4s, some screws, and some hardware up here. So what's it for? Well, let me show you. Snowplow. So we have the headpiece, 2 supports, and these holes here on either side. I slide a metal bar through it, threaded, and then I hook it up to the connector on the Envo frame, on the Veemo frame there, and then put some bolts on the end to hold it into place. So this thing's kind of ridiculous. But the plow itself, how does it work? Well, this snow is it's heavy, it's wet, it's been difficult to test the unit properly. However, I did try it out on the driveway a little bit there. I think I'll show you. And well, I did have some interesting learnings from my test run there. For one thing, the unit is it's really heavy. It's a little bit too hefty. I'm gonna redesign it a little bit, try and take some of the hardware off. Number 2, the shovel is it's too high up, so when I'm plowing on the ground, the frame actually starts to drag on the ground, and is it's not working properly. So I'm gonna move the shovel piece down and the frame up, and just kind of redesign it. So I mean, as cool as it is, it doesn't work quite the way I want it to. So stand by for a update on the plow in the next video.
Off-roading!